Alright, I hit both the records. Yeah, so we did a little intro thing real quick. It's not playing on our end this time just because I'm going to drop it into the video instead of playing. I spend so much time. I set it up in this little recording thing to play us in, but waste of time. Hey, look, it's the CrunchCast. This is episode 27. It's been a while, but we're back. This week, it's me, Chris Holden. Hi. We got Brian McConnell over there. We got live in Austin, we've got John Jones and Patrick Morrison. Say hi, Pat, so your face shows up.
How you doing?
There he is.
Hi, everybody.
We're using that G Plus Hangout, so it's like whoever is talking comes up on the screen. So yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, we missed last week. I was actually at CES, the International Consumer Electronics Show, and I've never been to one before. And they are huge.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
I've never been to a show that big. I've been to I've been around a while. I think I have an E3 1999 badge. You know what I mean?
Woo!
So I've been to a lot.
E3. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I've been to a lot of these shows, and this thing was bigger than any of them by far. It was constantly packed. It was like shoulder to shoulder packed the whole time, like anywhere you go, and it's just, like I said, just unbelievably big, long show.
And the venue was just downtown Las Vegas?
So. Yeah, it was in the Hilton, I guess. We stayed at Circus, which was pretty cool.
Lucky? That's pretty freaking awesome.
That was a whole week.
I never even heard of it. I told Chris I never even heard of it before this.
That's how I was. I was like, what is this?
But sounds like you had a pretty good time.
It was very debilitating physically, because basically you had to run the booth. You had to just stand there. Mm-hmm. All day, and their shows are like, you get there at like 9 till 6, so you're just standing there. Basically, we had a kiosk. I put some pictures on Facebook if you'd like to be on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, I saw those. Yeah.
There's just pictures of the booth. Basically, a kiosk next to the other games, because Nexus was announced that day in the house party. Yay!
Oh yeah.
Girls dancing, house party. No one's playing the game; they're at a party.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was a little weird too.
Yeah, I don't know exactly when it comes out or how all that stuff works, but whenever House Party comes out, that's when we come out. And there was a bunch of other cool games there too at our booth, like the I Am Alive, the new oh shoot, what's the game? I was standing right next the American Horror Story. The new Alan Wake, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That was there. There was a really cool little game called
it's like Splat or
Warp.
Warp, that's it.
Yeah.
Splat.
And I guess those were the house party games. And there was also Microsoft's Flight, which got a lot of attention at CES, because CES isn't really a video game show. I guess it's more, it's electronics. So they had like a whole wing of this building, all iPhone covers. Yeah. The coolest thing I saw there, the 3D printers. There was a bunch of booths that had the 3D printers that were just sitting there going.
That's pretty awesome.
Those are cool to see.
Nice.
There was we went to the Cintiq booth and checked out the big giant Cintiq. It's like like $2,600 or something.
Which I'm still saving up for.
I'm so gonna get one. They're just always sold out. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Cintiq. I've been trying to get a Cintiq
because they weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It's like you can only store that material for. That's ridiculous to me. 100-pound Cintiq on your desk takes up the whole damn thing.
It is a desk.
It is a desk. It might as well be.
There was this other I don't even know how to explain it. It was basically the augmented reality, and it would project whatever you were. Just like blob. It basically looked like Mudbox, but it was blob.
I saw that at SIGGRAPH a few years ago.
And he had like a little hand, and he moved it in air to model with it. It looked, at this point, it's kind of gimmicky, because it's just,
it's a little Iron Man-like.
You're talking about, like, okay, you've already got the main sculpting tools, like Mudbox and ZBrush, and all the other modeling tools everybody's already been accustomed to so well. It's going to be hard to be like, here's our new modeling tool, alone. Mm-hmm. Now they've also got to put on top of that this new sculpting technology that's never been done. So it's a double uphill battle for them, but it looked really cool, and I wish them the best.
What was the What was the 3D printing like? I know a little bit about 3D printing, but the only one that I know of is it lays down like a layer of glue and then it like shoots sawdust or something, some sort of dust onto it, and then it does another layer of glue and then more dust.
The ones that I was looking at on demo, there were a few booths that had them, but the couple that I saw, they were basically this little platform, like a flat area. They would put the plastic piece on it, and then this kind of like a pyramid drill came straight down onto it, just kind of cut the shape out of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It reminded me a lot of like the CAD stuff I did back in industrial tech in high school.
That's pretty awesome.
Cool.
But yeah, it was
awesome.
just sitting there like there was this one just carving out chess pieces, and they had a whole chessboard there, and some of them were pretty advanced, and some were really simple. And the guy explains they had different types of printers, like some were like the really simple printers, just for like low resolution. They're pretty cool. I'd like to print up some meshes. It would be sweet.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I actually, when I was out in L.A., a buddy of mine's roommate is an industrial designer, crazy talented guy. He made his own 3D printer.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's cool.
apparently the plans are freely available, and he made it out of, like, partly, like, balsa wood. It could only make things maybe like about as big as a lighter, but he would design his shit in CAD. And then he would just send it to his 3D printer, and he'd print out something like the size of a lighter in maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, just in the dude's living room. He designed. I can't really. It's a type of valve. I can't really go into detail on it because it's patent pending. They printed like this fully functional 3D valve prototype out of it while I was sitting there watching it, just made out of melted plastic. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. But I've never seen a large scale one. I mean, the whole 3D printing thing seems like it's really coming along. I'd love to see how it can do larger scale, more complex stuff.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think eventually that's the future, right? It's replicators in your own home. You don't go buy things; you just print them. Taking along a spaceship, you need a tool,
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I worked with a guy, Jason Maynard, I believe was his name, out at Neversoft a few years ago, and he would do a lot of traditional sculpture. And then when he got into ZBrush, he used a 3D printing program through a vendor to create his sculptures, wax them, and then send them out to be bronzed. And he'd have full-size bronzed sculptures for sale at art shows, based all through the whole 3D printing thing.
That's
pretty fascinating.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's incredible stuff. And he would bring in the wax. I don't know what the proper term for them are, but they're wax sculptures that will eventually be bronzed. So you'd bring them into the office and put them together, and sure enough, whole sculpture.
That's amazing.
That would be pretty sick. That's why.
Jason Maynard, really talented guy.
The name is really familiar for some reason. I don't think I've met him, but I'm certain I've heard it.
I was kind of in the same boat. But
Gonna have to Google it later, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, his at least at the time, I haven't talked to him in years because I'm a terrible friend. But yeah, the thing that he did at the time was this really awesome sculpture of Paris Hilton, I think. Yeah, I think it was Paris Hilton, and she was like committing suicide on a lounge chair, and candy was coming out of her veins. So she had a sliced wrist, and candy was pouring out of her veins.
Wow.
And at the same time that he did that, another artist did a sculpture of a Paris Hilton autopsy. And I remember he was very displeased that someone else had killed Paris Hilton the same week that he did.
That's amazing. Oh god, that's so cool.
I wouldn't eat that candy. But
Yeah, I actually just Googled it, and
Many
I
have.
found his sculpt, the one you're talking about right now, his Paris Hilton. I can put it up right there.
Excellent.
It says a wax premium of Jason Maynard's new sculpture, Suicide Socialite. Sorry. Yeah. Pretty neat. Pretty
I'm
good.
Googling that right now.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
It's almost 5 years ago, man. Whoa, that is cool.
Yeah, well, I'm a terrible friend. What can I say?
Oh well, what are you gonna do, man? You got him on Facebook?
follow him on Twitter.
I don't think so.
Oh Jesus, dude, you're a terrible friend.
I am a terrible friend.
That's all you got to do
Wait.
is got him on Facebook, then you're good.
Wait, dude, is he a programmer?
No, he's a character artist.
Oh, okay. There's another
There's
Jason
a
Maynard
bunch of
games.
Jason Maynards. Search by image. It was a lot easier for me.
He programs the character art.
Yeah. Programs
Yes.
characters.
Yeah.
Vert by vert.
Asks me that. Dude, I knew a guy way back in the day, like I think in the late 70s, is one of the guys I learned Lightwave from. He actually made a 3D model of Godzilla that he mapped out and plotted out on graph paper and entered vert by vert X, Y, and Z coordinates for the entire thing, painstakingly,
Jeez.
full-on Godzilla. And then when he was done, he realized he entered it upside down. But he programmed a character. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
You can do it, man.
This augmented reality stuff is looking pretty sweet too. Like, I just saw a mini clip on YouTube of this girl holding a Lego box up to like this screen, and it showed the built model of the Lego, whatever Lego you bought or you want to buy, and it shows it built there, and it had like animated pieces. And this for example was an airplane, so like the propeller was turning and the doors were opening, and there was a Lego guy standing there doing his animation, and she was like moving it around and it was staying on the plane. It was pretty cool.
Dude, I think I told you about that. I've seen that. That's at every Lego store.
Oh really? That's pretty awesome. I saw this on the Ghetto. I think this was on the Ghetto, but.
Dude,
That's where all the science and news
yeah.
come from.
So, almost exactly 2 years ago, I was in Hamburg, Germany. I was speaking at a Casual Connect conference, and I was wandering around. I saw my first Lego store, and I wandered in, and they had that there. Like, there was like this big, it was maybe like a 21-inch TV, just something relatively small. But I saw this kid run up to it and grab this little box. I mean, the screen looked like a webcam, whatever, like webcam feed. He grabbed a box from the shelf and put it up to the screen. Apparently there are tracking markers and some kind of like QR-ish code on it. So once they find the tracking markers, they immediately portray that on top of the box and have it fully animated. And it's for almost every single box of every product Lego has in their store. And you could run up to that monitor and see what it looks like fully built in animated in 3D. They've had this for at least 2 years, and it's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
That is awesome.
That's unreal.
Every Lego store, dude. Patrick, even the one here in Austin has it.
There's a Lego store here?
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Dude, seriously, make the
plan a
time. It's
trip.
amazing. Just anybody, if there's a Lego store in your town, go and check this out. It is such amazing technology. It takes like maybe 3/4 of a second to pop up, and you can like move it around in front of the screen, see it from all different angles. Have little Lego guys running around, animated propellers. No matter how big or how small it is, the whole thing is fully 3D and animated. It's really cool.
And if anybody from Lego wants to send us any Legos, you can contact us at contact@crunchstudios.com. Send Legos. We love them, and we'll play with them. We'll build one on the show. We'll keep doing updates to Brian on the table. How you doing over there, Brian? Almost
Just not a
there.
technical one that's a bit too advanced for us.
Yeah, just the real simple ones. Like, when you go to the checkout at Target, you got the candy, and sometimes it'll be like the one that has the utility stuff, like lighters and batteries. There's always little Lego sets. The ones that are in the bags. Some of those.
Yeah.
Dude, your targets are way cooler than ours.
Maybe.
Dude,
Maybe not.
I don't know what it is.
Well, you also
about
have like a massive marijuana farms in the the city.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that's catering a little bit more to the local populace.
Get these
Dude,
stoners some Legos.
Cheetos and Mountain Dews and Legos.
I don't know what it is about the Lego logo, but every time I see it, I'm automatically drawn to it, and it's just instinctual. I don't even mean to. Like I was walking.
It's a good thing as a child all your life.
Yeah, I was walking in our mall, and there was a new Lego store being built, and I automatically just turned right into it.
Yeah.
Wasn't even thinking about it.
When I see those Lego kiosks in the mall, I'm like, then I see the crap there. I'm like,
You know what would be really cool with that augmented reality stuff is if there was like, if it like somehow worked with gravity. So like if I turned it this way, like a ball would roll down the box.
physics in there.
Yeah.
Well, eventually you'll be able to just build Legos of augmented reality.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Brian, that's probably actually possible.
Oh, I'm sure
it.
it's definitely possible.
I saw an Intel graphics demo doing the same augmented reality thing where they give you a PDF to print out. It has like 2 or 3 tracking points on it, and you log into the Intel website, you print it out, and hold the sheet up to the camera. And then as soon as you hold it up, see the sheet in the camera like folding itself into crazy shapes, things like bursting out of it and like animating all crazy.
Oh yeah,
like
I saw
something you'd
that.
see.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's freaking
it's incredible.
great. Dude, you know
And
There's a video I forgot where I saw it on Twitter or something. I have to dig it up, but it's this guy. They have a hologram that reacts to touch. They got it working.
Really?
Some early stuff. I think I saw it on like Twitter or something, probably Joe Rogan or something.
That's pretty awesome.
Is that the hologram from the Japanese science school where
Sounds right.
They've set it up so that there's like an air resistance.
Yeah, you saw the part that has like all the cut paper, like fingers.
Yeah.
Okay, you saw the same video then.
Whoa!
It's really neat.
Looks pretty neat. But
we absolutely have to post that as a link along with this.
I'll
that is
find it.
too cool.
I'll definitely find it. That's the thing. We're talking about a lot of weird technology right now. It's the future. I mean, most of the stuff, like if you're on the internet, man, you can Google it because you can find it. Because if we're talking about it, it's pretty damn mainstream. Like if we're talking about it, there's already 1 million views on this page. So
exactly,
you should feel bad for not knowing about it.
Just on YouTube, search for Lego Augmented Reality. We'll post a link, I'm sure. But just check that shit out. It's awesome. And by the way, just quick note about Lego. Back when I was in LA, I was contracting this company, and we got onto the subject of Legos. So somebody looked it up on Wikipedia, and they had pictures of like the very first Legos there ever were. Like this, like really weird, crazy. It's like they're all made out of wood.
It wasn't. I was going to say it has to be wood, right?
Yeah,
it was a break.
It started, dude. It started in 1932, and they started making it in plastic in 1947. The name Lego comes from the Danish phrase "leg go," G-O-D-T, which means play well.
All right.
And the actual
I can tell the wiki page is back up.
Finally. But yeah, dude, just honestly, the Lego history is really interesting.
It's pretty awesome
for listeners. I would actually recommend reading it. It's really neat.
My grandparents had Lincoln logs that
my
my parents had. Like it was like an old big metal tin, just a bunch of logs just tossed into it. We had so much fun building with those, but anyway.
Those are so cool. Do you guys remember Kinects?
Not the Xbox thing. You're talking about the everybody hears Kinects now. They think Kinect. No, it's the Kinects with the X, right? I don't even know if that's still a toy that people can buy, but they were basically like big metal pieces, right?
No, they're all plastic,
or were these the plastic
but they came in like. So basically, there's like these little variable length plastic rods that snap in sideways to gears. Essentially, they have like there will be like anywhere from like 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 connections, and you make these just really. It's really different from Lego, and you can actually make some cool animated stuff with them. But dude, I played with those as a kid so much. Lego, Kinects.
And I think was it Constructs or Connect? What was the other one? It was like plastic, and you could anyway. Let's just talk about old toys for the rest of the show.
Exactly. So, Chris,
yeah.
CES best part. What was it of the show?
The show? I was going to say the nightlife.
What was the coolest thing you saw?
Coolest thing I saw. That's a tough call, man. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's like you're just kind of walking around. You're like, what is? There's a lot of stuff that's like it's really out of my bounds. The place also had, it's consumer electronics. That doesn't just mean Xboxes and PlayStations. There was like refrigerators and cars and washing machines but a whole lot of televisions.
Yeah.
There was a television company that had a very large booth. The company was Chang Chong. And the name just kind of...
Why are you laughing, man? Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Chong, I have a friend named that. What the hell, man? You're a dick.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because it is a bit unfortunate that it's really close to that. I don't know if it's... If you something you say it's or someone says like Ching Chong, I don't know if that's racist or like what that exactly means.
It's from South Park. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just saying it's something that I've heard before, and it's so close to that. I'm like, it's just a little unfortunate in this market.
Yeah.
That might turn off a few people. But the TVs look great.
What's so great about the TV?
I don't know. I just walked by the booth and laughed.
It's like
next to it was
96
dude. Next to that one was this giant. I can't remember the company now. But like one of those 3D TV. Basically, it had this thing that was like I don't know how big this thing was. It had to be like 30 feet across and up to the ceiling tall. Giant 3D TV. It was like they built a movie theater right there in their booth, but open, like nothing around it, just straight up fucking big ass screen, just blazing at everybody and dominating the show floor. Wow. 3D TV, and right up front were these ladies sitting right there with these 3D glasses booths. They had a drop off on one side, and you could pick up and there was a lady or a guy there just cleaning them all day and putting them back in the here and use these, and you just pick them up and check it out for a while. It was one of those kind of videos that was everything in this is made for 3D stuff, like crap flying at the screen and cars and racing and trains. Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, me and Kettering, our creative director at Elphonic, we just stood there and looked at it for a while. And we're like, "That's pretty cool."
That is pretty cool.
They're targeting users of mushrooms.
Yeah. There were a lot of booths that just had 3D glasses. You can hear 3D glasses as you walk through their booth because every one of their screens was in 3D. Oh, and right behind us in the Microsoft booth was the Kinect demo. Not the little toy, but the actual thing where you do this and you score points. And I feel bad for those guys. Like, we just had to stand there. Those guys had to play Kinect.
Yeah.
All day, all week.
But they had guys doing it?
And girls.
Okay,
and the girls were doing it. There was big guys standing around with those cameras. There were so many cameras. Those are the other people I feel the worst for, is those cameramen. There were so many cameramen lugging around like big ass cameras and equipment. Just them. Or even worse is like the guy who has a big ass camera and all this shit like hanging off of him, and a cord connecting him to a girl behind him holding a boom mic. Just walking around this show. And then again, I said the show is just like pack to pack. Like back to back, shoulder to shoulder, packed everywhere. Like walking is, because no one is paying attention. Everybody's just looking around, just looking wall-eyed because the place, everything's just like and it's flashing. It's incredible. But yeah, those poor girls. They're attached to some dude lugging a camera with a boom mic. I'm like, man, that's a tough job.
That's worse than a booth babe.
Yeah, look at it. There were this one booth we went by that was demoing 3D cameras, and they had the cameras up front, like you know, like those shooting galleries where there's a whole bunch of guns.
Yeah. And
then there's the wall behind it. It was just like that, except it was cameras but girls just sitting there and sitting there, looking pretty, and every once in a while they put their hand towards the camera. And be like, see, it's in 3D. See, they bounce a ball or something.
I'm not interested in your hands.
Yeah, like, see, it's in 3D. Yeah, just lean forward and shake.
Why don't you turn and face the camera? Lean forward a bit.
Hey, it's like throw a quarter down there and say, "Could you pick that up? Throw some change."
Tell me what it says on the top of the camera.
Yeah.
Did you even get to leave the booth at all?
Yeah, what we did is here's what we did. We messed up.
Well,
it was 4-day show.
That's natural.
On the first day of the show, we didn't really plan it. It was me and Kettering flown out from Elphonic and Ian from THQ. And we just all hung out at the booth all day. And every once in a while we go I just gotta sit down because my back is killing me here. I just gotta go get some food real quick. Or I gotta go to the bathroom. But we all just hung out at the booth for the first 2 days. Just standing there at the booth, wrecking ourselves, and then we took shifts, so to speak, with time, 1 hour here. But we always were there all day. By Thursday, we realized we should just do 3-hour shifts, and the other people just not be there at all. Mm-hmm. So that day was great. I was only there for 3 hours, and perfect. And then Friday it was Ian had to leave, so it was just me and Kettering. And Friday was only to 4 p.m. Short day.
So wait, which days were you there?
Oh, sorry. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But we flew out Monday and flew back Saturday. So it's a 4-day show.
It's a long trip.
And it was a long one. And it was 9 to 6 every day. So, I mean, it's a long show. Most game shows are usually, 3 days? 10 to 6 at best?
Well, actually, they just announced today this year's GDC is going to be 4 days.
Oh man!
For the present presenting the games and all sorts of stuff. They're adding in Tuesday.
That's cool. I guess.
It kind of sucks because most people already booked their trips.
Oh yeah. I guess we're going to be there. I don't know who all's going or what's up, Brian, but
I'm going. Actually, you'll get to meet my girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah, she and I.
Meredith
she and I-
Zwiecki? How do you say that? Why did I say her name? I'm ruining the show.
I don't know.
I'm thinking about Facebook, dude. That's the problem. When I see Facebook, I just see people's names, and I see her. She's liking like every post I throw out, which is cool.
Facebook is ruining my life.
She just messed me up.
Dude, she's listened to our CrunchCast. She's overheard all that.
She seems cool.
Like, yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, she and I are both flying out there.
So there's her show.
On my company dime.
Nice.
So yeah, we're gonna be there the 4th through the 10th. And actually, any CrunchCast listeners, they're gonna be at GDC. Email me and Chris if you want to be, solicited.
We can do something.
Just email me. Let's grab a beer, grab a coffee.
I wanted to do some stuff with CES, but it just never worked out. I recorded I recorded a bunch of video, but a lot of it doesn't really turn out because we're just out at night, drunk or something, just taking video. And there's at least one I'm going to put up of Kettering dancing, which is pretty good.
I'm looking forward to that.
There was some sort of in Circus, they were also having a convention. I don't know what it was. I'm completely ignorant on. I think it was Korean, but they had signs, and the signs were nothing was in English because they did not need it. So our hotel was there was a lot of I guess Koreans and other just mainland Asianers, not like no English at all. A lot of them. So one night we were drunk and Kettering just runs up into one of their big groups and starts dancing. And that was a video that I've got, and hopefully I'll have that up at some point. Because he's excited about it.
Yeah,
make it happen.
It's a good video. It's nothing bad.
When is GDC this year?
March, I think 6th through 10th.
Okay. All right, cool.
So let me double check. Actually, 5th through 9th. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
But yeah, dude, we got this crazy deal on Expedia. So for I think I'll say $1,200 for the two of us, we get round trip airfare for basically a 7-day visit, and we're getting put up in a really nice hotel for $1,200 for the two of us. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, we got
for all that time in a hotel, and you're going 7 days, so you're going to take in some sights, huh?
Oh, absolutely. We've never been to San Fran before.
She's never been. What did you say?
We've both been separately, but never together.
That's a nice city.
San Francisco's a really nice city.
Yeah, if you want to find some good eating, there's a lot of nice. Something about that area.
I'm gonna get some sushi.
It's one of those places where a lot of people went a long time ago. I would say it was gold rush time. All these people were going out there as fast as they can, and
the sushi was great even then.
Yeah. So there's so many places that were established a long time ago that really got themselves embedded, and man. Whew.
Oh yeah, dude, the food there's amazing. One time, a few GDCs ago, I went there. I had I was going out to sushi lunch with 4 or 5 buddies of mine, and let's see, I think it was 5 people. 2 of them bailed, 2 of them came. 1 had already eaten, and 1 was a vegetarian. And I'd ordered 60 pieces of sushi for the table. I ended up eating every single fucking piece because I wasn't going to let that go to waste, and I couldn't eat sushi again for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah,
but it was good sushi, worth it.
60. I think my average is 18. That's if I'm going in regular, if I'm going in not too hungry or really hungry, I know my average is 18. Yeah, I can go over that. But
is that what's the breakdown between just regular sushi rolls? Was it nigiri and sashimi?
Oh yeah, I kind of keep it the same. With sashimi, you're gonna get it about double because you don't have that big wad of rice, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
sashimi.
That's what I was gonna say.
So this whole episode, for the rest of the episode, is going to be about sushi.
Yeah.
No, actually, do you guys want to talk about our main topic at all? That we haven't brought up one bit?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Relocation.
It was asked in the Polycount thread, the CrunchCast.
I don't want to...
Post there, kids. What's that, Brian?
I don't want to relocate.
Yeah, you're in the right place. I've relocated to Colorado twice.
Okay.
That's how much I want it. I want to be
Actually,
here.
Chris, sorry, there was one question before that
There was.
from about a week ago that I wanted to hit first.
Yeah, feel free to elaborate on that because I know it was actually directed to you. So
Yeah, you asked a question about
where
improving
do you get all your
education.
silly hats?
I seriously have like 30 hats. He asked a question a while ago about improving education outcomes. Basically, how do I send you better graduates? So I'd like you guys to field that first. Because
So you're saying how he sends, as in like from an education standpoint? How do I prepare my students? Okay, yeah. How do I prepare my students to get you guys that you want?
Precisely.
Yeah. Well,
It's a great question.
I've got 2 answers for that.
Well, you're terrific.
This one answers. Real-time art. That means art displayed in a game. Marmoset's fine.
Better be.
Better be. No, Marmoset's awesome. That reminds me, I need to talk about something that Patrick Morrison was doing. But and read.
Who?
Your portfolio repels jobs.
Hear that guy is an asshole.
Yeah,
And a terrible friend.
So yeah, my answers are real-time art and they have to read Your Portfolio Repels Jobs. That's required reading because it has so many basic fundamentals of a portfolio. Forget all the fun stuff. Just the basic. Hey, put your gallery up front and contact information on every image and make it so I can right-click and save your images and no flash and don't be stupid and don't reinvent the wheel. Stupid.
Put your art in my face.
Yeah,
as
art in
fast
my
as you
face. If I find it accidentally, all that stuff where it's like no hidden art. I should never have to click on stuff to find your art. You have to click. What was your wording? It was like for every click more to see the art. That's one less chance that you'll be seen.
Exactly.
Like when it's the
Just
idea
have
of
as few
like
layers
splash,
as possible.
Yeah, like splash page, home page, portfolio, 3D art, characters, manifacts. That is the worst thing. It should just be thumbnails or full page. Like if you just had a website that was just a row of images and your name on each image and nothing else, that would be fine. Anything more, you're just making it harder.
Yeah.
And a resume.
No, honestly, Chris, your portfolio is great. ChrisHolden.net.
It's a little fluffy right now and old, but yeah.
And Pior Oberson. PIOROBERSON.com, I think it is.
One of the most legendary best portfolios for the longest of time. Everybody loved him. He's got a great style.
Actually, I think his, no offense, Chris, I think Pior's portfolio is one of my absolute favorites of all time.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's
just the layout, the content,
best.
just everything. I mean,
it's always been the best. I don't know what is his deal.
Gets it. He's the yardstick by which all portfolios should be measured.
Absolutely. Agreed.
But I completely agree. Real-time art. And honestly, as a teacher, just get into UDK. Just dick around with it, take some tutorials, know enough about it to be able to teach other people or troubleshoot other people. It doesn't matter if it doesn't even matter if you're a good artist, but if you can teach the app and help kind of guide people along and show them how to get stuff working in that will take you so close to professional relevance that, I mean, honestly, that will do more for most students than almost anything, really. That's just so fucking important.
Yeah, I'm also wondering if this specific teacher is teaching just gaming, like just game modeling, or just specifically gaming, or if he's also teaching like film as well. Because there's
good point.
There's two different. That's two.
Yeah, you're right. Because when I say game
fields.
art, that means nothing to that field.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not an outlet for homosexuals. It's game art.
Oh, instead of game art? Yeah, I get it. Game art. I never even thought of that pun. What is wrong with me?
That's
good,
dude.
Dude, I have the funniest fucking story about that. So
you're like, a working game art.
No, dude, even better. So I joined like a foodie group here in Austin. We got try new restaurants and stuff like that. So my buddy who works, who's an animator in games, he sent me there ahead of him to meet a couple people that don't work in games. So he gave me the rough descriptions, and I end up meeting them, talking to them for a bit. So I told one of them I work in the game industry. And so he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, I listened to this. He goes to this 5 or 10 minute long thing. Like, well, I work, I'm an electrical engineer, whatever. I listen to podcasts while I work. I was listening to one about gay Christians and how they're gay priests, gay preachers, and it's how they try and reconcile being a homosexual with being a Christian, going on for a while about it. And then halfway in, I realized kind of what he's talking about, but I'm polite and let him go on. But the other person there, my friend Carla, is sitting there looking at him, looking at me, going, okay, what the fuck? And then finally she interrupts and she said, okay, wait. So, John, what did you say? Where do you work? Like, what do you do? What's your career? I said, I work in the game industry. And then she turned to Glenn and said, okay, what did you hear? He said, oh, I heard gay ministry.
Gay ministry.
And then he finished this. He's like, oh, okay. Then he finished his fucking story. I've had people mishear this all the time. That's one of my favorite jokes.
I've never thought of that.
I work in the game ministry.
Game ministry.
Yeah, sometimes I just say software development or like entertainment industry, because that's just cool to say to a girl. I was like, this one girl was like really young. She was like 18. I was like, yeah, I work in the entertainment industry. She's like, nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
I was like, you're so young. I just want to pet your hair.
Does this rag smell like chloroform?
Yeah.
It's my favorite pickup line.
Back at Mythic after EA acquired us. So we're working for EA at this point. Whenever any regular person would try to explain to them where we worked, what they came out of it was we made Madden. Like, no matter what we said.
EA Sports? Work for EA Sports?
No matter what we said, the outcome was Madden. Yeah. And so for so long we were just like, yeah, we make Madden. You can only Yeah. You can only deal with that
actually,
stuff.
Yeah. Shit, something just hit me. An idea actually like related to the question, how to make better students. Have them participate in like CG Talk and Polycount challenges.
Yeah, get in the communities, get yourself out there, Networking is a big part.
Also teach them how to handle criticism if they do decide to join one of those forums.
And I think it's really cool that every once in a while there'll be like a group of kids all spawn at once on Polycount. And sometimes they're just right out with it. It's like, hey, our instructor said post this, and we're all doing it. And it'll be like 10 kids.
That's cute.
And sometimes they all kind of keep it secret. Not like they're really keeping it secret, but they just don't say, hey, we're all doing this, and it's all school. They just post their post like normal. Like, hey, I'm this guy or that stuff. Either way is pretty cool.
Yeah, and even if you don't make them join Polycount, which they should, just tell them, okay, this is a challenge from this website where professionals hang out. Just send them those links and make them go along in parallel with that assignment. Even if they don't submit to the contest, which they should, even if they don't, just have them do that. Have them go along with professionals and talented amateurs that are doing the same thing. So not only can they see their classmates' work, they can see what the professionals are doing and kind of compare themselves against that and sort of inject some of their own creativity into it, come up with their own ideas, and just work along that timeline. I mean, that would totally fit into coursework, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean...
I would say so. Why not? And another thing, you kind of inspired me on this. I would just say, hey, I know our other Polycount constituent, Jesse Sosa, Skanker Zero, isn't here tonight. But if he was, he could be like, oh yeah, I can start working on that now.
And then pet his cat.
But why not a professor just contact Polycount? We have the contest and challenges area or section of the forums. They could maybe even make a new section of the forum, or not. Just keep it in there and just have the contest be like that way. It's organized so that they have like a challenge and they all post their challenge threads all in like the challenge section. Maybe the professor or whatever just contacts somebody at Polycount and just says, hey, can we just do this? Can we set this up? It's easy to do. Just do it. And then it would be organized.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Just contact them. Go for it. Why not? If they don't do it, say, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? And that they should step it up.
And see, and like the thing with, I mean, people that teach at art schools is, you know, and honestly, more often than not, they're not they're not professional full-time game developers. They're not up and latest techniques and whatnot. Why not take advantage of the people that are full-time game developers and really passionate amateurs in that community and sort of like work them into that peer group? Not only are you starting to kind of socialize them, but you're able to, you know, gain the benefit of their wealth of experience and knowledge.
There was a poll like last year on Polycount where you would say, am I a professional, student, or a hobbyist, or something. There might have been 4 choices. I don't remember. But the professionals in this poll like far outweighed everybody else on that forum. Like it was just some like hundreds. I forgot. I don't know. I'm gonna exaggerate and say there's 1 million professional game developers, and then it was like 32 students and 4 hobbyists, and then 1 lurker. I think that was it. I'm pretty sure those were the numbers.
That's a pretty good ratio to be in if you're just a student looking for advice.
It is.
But don't be scared, folks. Don't be scared. There's young people on there. How old is? Did anybody know how old Racer is? The kid that is like badass of hard surface and does all the tutorials.
Oh. He's like, young?
He was like 14 or something when he joined.
Is pretty incredible.
Fucking kids!
He's getting older, though. Like, there's a lot of guys like that. I don't want to go here naming all these guys, but there's been a lot of people that were on Polycount. Even John was on there. We were like Q2 PMP when you were like, what, 14 or something?
12.
Well, 12 when we did Quake, I know, but I wasn't sure if Quake 2 was out yet.
Actually, so Quake 2 came out November 30th, 1997. So I guess I was still 12, almost 13.
Damn. So yeah, you were posting characters back then. So
yep.
Yeah.
I've been Jesus. 15 years ago, dude. Well, technically 14 and change, but still. Quake turned 15 like yesterday.
Mm-hmm. You know what sucks was when games that, like you got your first job based on or start having anniversaries and shit.
Yeah.
Last week I think was the 60th anniversary of Home Alone 1. But no, that movie is over 20 years old. So yeah, Macaulay Culkin is like 84 right now, I think.
He was dating Mila Kunis for a while. I was jealous.
Yeah. So hey, did we all chime in on that question?
Meg.
Did we chime in on that question properly? I don't know if.
Yeah, Patrick, did you?
How do you feel, Pat?
How do I feel about increasing quality and student work?
Students, yeah. How do you want? We want students to come out better.
I mean, you guys have all touched on really good points. I think
what about
a very
characters?
important part of I think a very important part of student work in your portfolio coming out of school. You should really, I think, a professor should really kind of help you into a role. I don't think the world of 3D generalist really exists anymore. I mean, I could be incorrect in this, but I think that positions have kind of gotten a bit more
specific.
And you should really teach your students to look for portfolios and reference of people that they will be up against for jobs. And that in itself, like, you need to consider as a student, everyone who has a job in the industry right now doing what you want to do is now your competition for a job. Mm-hmm. Granted, you might not be going, you're probably going for an entry-level position, so things are going to be, it's not always going to be even, but these people are now your colleagues in competition for work. And if your work doesn't look as good as their work, they're going to get the job, generally. And I think being very mindful of communities, other people's portfolios, and being very active in these communities, trying to improve your work and network and just increase your overall quality is very important. And you should really push your students to be specific in their portfolios and aim for these higher standards of art, even if it's a smaller portfolio. I'd much rather see 4 really well done assets than 10 shitty ones.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Like, I mean, I've gotten a job offer off of 3 character models, but like that's probably rare, but I think they're high quality, and I got the job based off of a portfolio of 3 pieces that I worked my ass off to get to the level that they were when I submitted them. And I think that speaks a lot more for you as an individual artist trying to get a job when you really take ownership of your craft. You aim for a really high standard and deliver.
There's a series of excellent points.
I just want to throw a quick shout out on that because you said you dropped it down to 3 pieces, and because those pieces were like so much better than whatever you took out, they shine so much more. Without that other piece, that might have pulled them in the wrong direction, or whatever.
It really is. It really is quality over quantity. I mean, it's having a reasonable quality that all matches about the same level of quality is ideal. But your portfolio is only as good as its worst piece.
Yeah, it is a great success story. Just a quick shout out here to Victor Cortis, user on Polycount. I forget his name. He posted on Polycount his portfolio right before. I think it was GDC 2010, and it wasn't just me, but a few people kind of agreed. Some of his characters weren't so great. Like his environments were good, his characters were they were fine, but they weren't like this is a character artist characters. So, it felt like they should be out of there, and he ended up reducing his portfolio to 3 pieces.
Just environment pieces?
And he got a job. And he actually came to our booth and thanked me for that advice, and that was very cool of him. And
wow.
Awesome.
Are you Max Power?
Are you Max Power? No, this was before that. Sheldon?
That's super cool. That is super cool.
But yeah, it was awesome of him to just like step up and do it, and then he brought it and got a job based on that portfolio, and he was very grateful to everybody. He's a good guy, very good guy, good attitude.
He listened to people and took criticism.
He showed up.
He made it work.
Yeah,
he showed up to us.
Listened. Yeah, listen to all those crazy people on the internet, and that's the kind of success story I like because it's rough when people they just don't listen. And I'll tell you, there was one. God, I got to be very careful with names here. There was somebody posting some crazy art on the Polycount. And it just didn't make any sense. It was, it had its own unique look and style, but it just didn't really. It wasn't anything that anyone could use. It couldn't be animated. It wasn't game art. Blah blah blah. John, typing stuff in here, causing all these noises. Anyway,
I troll. So
speaking of trolling, one of my coworkers got really heated into critting this person and getting mad about them not listening and being, just being not. Why are you posting if you're not going to take advice? You're just posting your art over and over, and it's the same and terrible and useless. Mm-hmm. And I told him he's kind of troll bait. And I told him, dude, just stay away, just don't post it, just leave it alone, man. It's not,
just forget about it.
Pick your battles, man.
If it's making it so you can't sleep at night.
Yeah, exactly. Pick your battles. You're sitting on your iPhone going, God, get this. And so later on, I'm in a Google Hangout with just a group of Canadian guys that are all students, and a few have gotten jobs lately. And somebody was talking about that guy, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy over here, and I'm like. And the other guy's like, oh yeah, he has autism or something. I forgot what it was he had. And so the next day I went into work and told him, I'm like, dude, you've been arguing for page after page.
With a kid whose parents gave him vaccinations.
With somebody who has some sort of medical condition. I don't want to use any inappropriate words to describe this medical condition, even though he said fucking shit earlier. It's like there's a line, dude. That's like a racial slur, or
And I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he just doesn't listen.
Oh, he's troll bait. Yep. Anyway, why are we talking about this? I don't even know.
So, relocation.
Hell yeah.
Relocation.
How many times have you guys relocated? I know Pat Morrison has at least relocated once because I worked with him in a different state.
Yeah, I relocated 3 times. 3 times.
Lucky. Twice for me.
Okay, let me think. Nebraska, Boulder, DC, Denver. So yeah, that's 4 times. Yeah.
You win.
Dang. One from.
I'm old.
I went from 12th and Lincoln to 9th and Broadway.
Sweet.
Now everybody knows where Brian lives.
Yeah. That's where the Art Institute is, 12th and Lincoln, and then
He lives at the Gotham building.
Now there was
Sorry,
now there was a couple of links. I know you mentioned them on a previous episode, John. Like how you can find your cost of living and stuff like that in other states. And
Yes.
we'll go ahead and get that on tap because we're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Okay, just search for cost of living calculator.
Sure, that's not
First,
big on tap, but fine. Go ahead and tell it.
And paycheckcity.com.
Yeah.
Go to their salary calculator. Type in it'll go like weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, or yearly salary. Type that in, pick the state you live in, and pick your number of tax deductions. And it'll tell you within, in my experience, about $25 to $50 accurately what your take-home is going to be based on that salary in that state with those deductions. And one of the metrics I've always heard is either your rent or your mortgage should never be more than 30% of your net income. So do your calculations based on that. Paycheckcity.com. I hit that site so much. Very
Ideally,
useful.
25%.
Ideally, yes.
It was Paycheck City. What was the other site?
Just Google cost of living calculator.
Okay.
They're all the same.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those. It's like yeah.
So that helps tremendously in trying to like plan your whole move. And then in addition to that, go to apartments.com. Go to rent.com. Apartments.com tries to get you to register for an account to be able to view search results, even though they make it seem like you don't. So fuck apartments.com. Rent.com is better, unless I got that backwards. Whichever one doesn't do something douchey. But whichever one doesn't do the douchey thing. Hit those up and just Google the studio location. Try and find the most reasonable close place to that. If you have a commute so Google the closest place to where you work. Try and find apartment rent in that area. Then use Google Maps to find out what your prospective commute would be between those two places. And then try and make sure that you do it at like rush hour times, like between 8 and 10 and 4 and 6. To be able to get like kind of a worst case sense of what the traffic is. Look for a different route or two. If you're commuting more than it's like commuting more than 20 minutes, you'll hate your fucking life. So try and live relatively close to work if you can. I mean, there are going to be compromises here and there, but that's a really good way to kind of look at what you're getting into. Find nearby grocery stores, find nearby liquor stores.
These are all my bullet points. I was so going to be like, find one close to the studio and near a grocery store and walking distance and stuff. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, like walking distance to like a corner store, gas station, little mini grocery. Check Google and Yelp for reviews. Just look into all these things, then try and calculate. Okay, if the prospect is if you're going to be getting a higher salary in a different location when you're relocating, which you should be, that's the only way to make more money in games. Try and find out what your take home is, and then plan whatever that extra money is that is going to go into your paycheck. Have your bank automatically take that out, put that into savings, and get used to continue living on exactly the same net take home salary that you can. If you can keep that up over a number of years, you will be happy beyond belief. You'll have savings that are stupid, just especially for kids. Most people don't know how the fuck to handle money, especially kids.
God, so much.
Just do this. I swear to God, years later, you will thank me. Just plan to have the extra money go straight into savings, and just plan all this out. All the numbers are out there. Just Paycheck City, cost of living calculator, Google Maps, rent.com, and just map all that shit out. And if at all possible, when you fly out for an interview, insist being able to be driven around the area. Some studios will do that, some won't. I would insist on it in either case. when I flew out from California Ready at Dawn to interview at NCSoft in Austin, they gave me 2 or 3 days here, and they brought in a realtor to drive me around to all the different neighborhoods of Austin to help me find out where I wanted to live, which was awesome. And I think that should be standard. And if they don't offer that, push for it and just get them to show you the hell around town. Make friends with the people you interview with and try and find someone to take you out, it's like out in the town. Just like find out, okay, here's if nightlife is your thing. It's like, okay, here, what's the nightlife? If you like, going out to restaurants or whatever, okay, here, what are the best restaurants? If you're a family person, say, okay, what are the best parts of town in which I should raise a family? Parks, exactly. Like where are some good gyms in the area? Does the company give gym discounts? Just ask the people you interview with when you're in like a somewhat more informal situation. An interview should go both ways, and you should have all these questions already prepared in addition to whatever you're going to ask them about the job and the project. Just have all this stuff planned out in advance, written down. Don't improvise it. Have a notebook, have it there, and go through every single point and write down the answer so you remember. I guess I've relocated twice, but I've moved, since I've been in Austin, so this is, I've been living out of my parents' place, or once I moved out of my parents' place, I guess this is 9 years now. I've lived, I want to say 13 or 14 different places. These are things I haven't always done, but I do now. They're all really, really important. Write this down, make notes, do that.
Damn! Okay, so there was a lot of things that I was thinking about, but I wasn't going to articulate it as well and as fast. I was thinking at some point, maybe John should just talk at the end and be the big conclusion. That was like everything.
The closer.
That was pretty much perfect. So good night, everybody. No,
I'm sorry.
It was great. No, it was perfect. That was like the perfect answer. Somebody should just.
Shit, thanks, Steven.
What someone should do, and they should do this on the YouTubes. They should do like a highlights where they just take that part out and just make it like a 3-minute video.
Fuck, man, thank you.
That was pretty much, it was pretty spot on, dude. I mean, there's a lot of the stuff that, it came to mind as me. It's like, well, of course, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Obviously, I do this every time. Like a lot of that stuff, it's like, okay, the basics. For me, when it does come to relocation, I do like things in walking distance, such as, a grocery store. The closer you can be to one of those in walking distance, man, that is great. Because then you can be on what I call the walk back diet. If you can't walk back to your house with it, you can't fucking eat it. It's worked for me, and I got abs, bitches.
I love that. Oh, that's so good.
And
ice cream cake with bananas.
Well, you know how a lot of juices and liquids and stuff are what make people all fat because high sugar drinks and stuff.
Yeah, and sodas,
volumes of liquid are the heaviest thing to carry back. So you'll be cutting down on that real swift. You'll be coming back. You'll be coming back with a half a gallon of milk, and that's it. You gotta think about this. But another point that I wanted to make: if you work at Alphonic, you don't have to worry about a gym discount because me and Brian McConnell over here have single-handedly with 2 people. put together an awesome gym.
Yeah, we did put together an awesome gym. We just got ourselves another toy.
Okay,
recently.
Okay. Here's what we started with. Why am I talking about it? We got a bench. We got weights. A couple weeks ago, we got a heavy bag for punching or breaking your hand. If you think I'll just go up and punch it hard, because no, it's a heavy bag. It is like a solid fucking rock. You gotta wrap your hands and put on gloves or take it light. And over last week, Brian picked us up a power tower, which is basically one of those things you can do dips on, or you can do like the crunch leg raise or pull ups.
Badass.
So we're set.
Yeah, dude, I got it for only $35.
Damn.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, and
dude, what is on Craigslist?
Condition. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, if you want gym equipment, go to Craigslist. Because they're like, please get this heavy shit out of my garage.
And now is the time to do it because this
is
the time of the year. Yeah.
Everybody that got that crap at Christmas or resolutions is reselling it. Dude, when we went over to Sports Authority to pick up that heavy bag, it was like $50 for a 100-pound heavy bag.
Yeah,
ridiculously cheap. And the guy was all like, "Oh yeah, it's a great time of year. Nobody comes in here. It's just returns." And so we hooked it up. But let's talk about some relocation. Yeah, Brian. You basically just had to find an apartment in town.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really easy for you.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. The only advice that I can give on relocating is what not to do, and that's like, don't have a friend in that city. Don't expect a friend to just let you crash on his couch. In that city. Like, if I were to go... See, here's my plan. If I were to relocate to Austin, I would room with John, and I wouldn't talk to him about it at all.
Sorry.
What? That's one of the cool things about having friends in the industry is I've had plenty of times in my life where, okay, I'm either moving and all my stuff, the van has picked up all my stuff. Like, a lot of places pay for relocation, or you just buy it yourself and then you get reimbursed or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, for just relocation, like, you get some moving van. I don't know any of the companies. You Google it. Mayflower, yeah, I've used them at least a couple times. But I think last time I shipped all my furniture and my car. And it wasn't cheap, but it was a whole lot easier than me dealing with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In Relo, the numbers I've always heard for Relo for like an average level game developer is $2,500 to $8,500. Toward the higher end of the spectrum, you're going to be relatively more senior, even though I've heard of a couple exceptions to that. If you're like near director level, or like a really, really good lead or an average director, it can be anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. But don't expect that.
Yeah, that's really high level. I have gotten at least two or 2,500. 2,000 or 2,500 for relocation fees before, but those are like, good big companies.
So you gonna keep the extra?
Yeah.
Like, it's
No.
No.
What's happened to me sometimes is you have a cap on relocation, and if you get over, it's docked out of your first check.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should you choose for it to be that, you could also like pay yourself.
Yeah.
And Brian, actually, in some cases, the relocation is paid out as a bonus. So sometimes you do get to keep the overage, but that's not common.
Oh, yeah.
But one thing I will say, the most important question you can ask is if part of relocation will pay for your apartment deposit or first month's rent.
That's a good one.
It usually will not.
Because deposits can be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, although I did have one relocation pay a $2,000 lease break fee.
That's nice.
But they didn't
super
pay.
Uncommon though, right? Like I've never had a problem with getting reimbursed for a lease break. In my experience,
yeah, except there are tax implications. They will pay for it, but you have to pay the taxes on that.
Okay.
But that can sometimes happen. But like the first month's rent and deposit is generally not covered. So ask that first. Also ask if you're relocating family if they're covered under that. I've heard situations in which they're not.
Yeah, if you're a family man or woman, relocation for family and insurance for family are very important to you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that tickled you so well the way I said that so strangely.
Your facial expression on
you're
fucking hysterical.
Noise. That's great.
But yeah, those are
things.
Those are things to look for in relocation. As far as average relocation goes, I'd expect 2,000, 2,500.
Okay.
But like when I got, I want to say the best relo I ever got was 5,000, but that was for a pretty senior role.
Classy.
But yeah, go for Mayflower. I would hit up Angie's List, ANGIESLIST.com, and look up the quality of movers in your area. Because Mayflower and most other national moving companies use local contractors that subcontract to that company, and their quality can vary wildly. So check Angie's List and find out the quality of those movers in your area that subcontract to that company. Because on the whole, I feel like if you go with a national relocator, you're going to get probably a better price just because they have economies of scale. They're used to dealing all around the country and they can contract out this and that. But definitely check the local subcontractors to make sure they're not total chumps. And I would honestly suggest getting insurance. In my experience, it usually hasn't been that much. But if they like drop a glass of China, because most game developers collect China, if they drop a glass of China, you want to be covered in that case.
Yeah, definitely. Weren't you saying something about, Chris, you had you were going to buy insurance on some weights that you were moving, and the insurance was measured by weight, and they lost your weight set. So had you bought insurance, you would have gotten a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It was insurance based on weight. So like my TV, which is one of those, it's a flat screen TV. It looks all big and impressive, but it's like really light.
Yeah.
And so that one, so even though it's a more expensive item versus a 45-pound kettlebell,
Yeah.
and they lost the kettlebell. So yeah, that would have been sweet.
Yeah.
That would have been like not as much as the kettlebell was worth.
I measure the value of everything I own by weight. By weight, I am the most valuable thing in this apartment.
By weight on the moon.
So John, you do something on the moon. There's something you do, John. You like to, and I kind of do something like this too. Every once in a while, you'll do like a what do you call it? Like a items replacement? No, like a quota or something. Just going through and cleaning everything out.
Inventory?
An inventory,
Yes.
yeah. You've always talked about this before. Not really. Like, I don't, whatever. Like you like to clean your shit out. Just get out of here. Stuff.
I throw things out pretty frequently, and I was living with my ex-fiance, who's the biggest cunt in the world, and I had a lot of stuff. And that's a terrible word to use, but it's accurate. So I had a lot of stuff, a ton of furniture.
How dare you? I'm
a whole
offended.
bunch of
I'm
things.
leaving.
And then I ended up renting a room temporarily from a friend of a friend that was like 12 by 12. So I sold off every piece of furniture I had except for my computer desk, my computer chair, and a bookshelf. I didn't even have a bed for like a year. But I managed to get all my worldly possessions down. I'm sorry, my TV and my TV stand. So that was all I had, plus like 12 small boxes.
You had a
worth of
computer,
stuff.
right?
I did. Well, my laptop.
Yeah, nice.
I
You gotta have a
would use a
computer.
desktop.
Oh, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Sorry, just in terms of furniture and whatnot, but I condensed everything I own down to an incredibly small amount. In my metric for that, I'm pretty fucking hardcore about it, so this is what worked for most people, but every time I pull something out of a box, so I'm determining whether or not to throw it away, I'd ask myself, am I going to use this in the next 2 weeks?
Damn.
And if the answer is no, then I throw it out. I threw out so much shit. I've literally
What if it's
filled
like a
2
monthly medication then? You have to keep that, right?
Then I go without.
Cool.
But yeah, so 2 weeks is my metric. Some people use 1 month, 3 months. But honestly, when people try to keep stuff around, more often than not, they keep it thinking the best of themselves, thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use that all this exercise equipment, or I may use this random cable for this thing that I have no idea what the hell it goes to. If you're not going to use it within the next 2 weeks to a month, or you haven't used it or thought about it in the last 3 to 6 months, out it goes. But honestly, take it to Goodwill. I threw most of my stuff away because I was really impatient. But go to Goodwill. Let somebody else have a chance to use it. Goodwill, Salvation Army. Salvation Army will arrange for pickups.
Absolutely. Just every time I move, man, I always do a big look. If you live in any kind of area where there's things, check one of those major parking lots. Yeah, I've been to places where there's nothing. But if you live in the places where there's things, there's probably a strip mall or a big grocery store, like a Target or something. Anything that has a big parking lot, look in there for it looks like a dumpster, but it's like a closed drop-off.
Yes.
Those things are everywhere. You can go there, and they'll have toy drop-off or regular crap drop-off places where you're just donating stuff to people, and that's cool, man.
And get a receipt because that's tax deductible.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes, definitely.
If you can. If not, just throw a bunch of shoes and shirts in there and roll out. It's easy.
Yeah, if you haven't, other than winter clothing, if you haven't worn something in 6 months, give it away.
You can donate cars too.
Yes, and dude, the amount of money you will save, donating or throwing away stuff that you're never going to use will save you so much on relocation, moving costs.
Totally.
You will be glad you did. Because, a lot of that you do have to pay taxes on. It depends. Ask. If it's a large enough company, they will have a list of exactly what is and what is not tax deductible. Ask for this list. Because on my first paycheck from NCSoft, I came into the middle of a pay period, so I wasn't going to be paid for 3 weeks. And so I was making pretty decent money there. But combining the taxes I had to pay on the lease break and whatever other crap, plus the 20% of my paycheck that I was going to put into my 401k, after 3 weeks, I got a paycheck of $128.
Yeah. The same thing happened to me when I went to Mythic because my relocation was a little bit over and I came in halfway into a regular pay period. So when I got the first check, I was like, but I waited until the next one. The next one was totally awesome.
It makes a difference, and honestly, plan for that and calculate for that.
Yeah,
ask
that first
questions.
paycheck might be bust. Yeah,
and ask when the
you need
paycheck
like a
is
month of
coming
money.
in. Exactly. Just ask. God damn it. Ask when your first paycheck is going to come in and whether or not you're coming in during a pay period. Find out if they pay on the 1st and the 15th, the 15th and the 30th, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, or whatever. Some companies overseas, Rockstar North actually, gives you the option to get a full annual payout once a year that you have to live on for that year. It doesn't really happen in the U.S.
Now, if you've listened to some of the previous advice about generally saving your money, some of this other advice about being really sure about your paycheck and asking, you don't even have to worry about because you got all this money saved because you did the right thing.
Excellent point. That's an excellent point.
It's difficult because there's if you're a young guy and it's your first job, you're going to get entry level pay, and the place you move might be expensive, and you're also trying to live that lifestyle.
Like you may do something like buy a 60-inch TV or a Hellboy fist.
Yeah, or going out boozing every night.
Catch me every time.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Look, here's what you do. You pregame, and you don't have to spend a lot of money when you go to the bar. Or you had like a little flask.
Those apple teenies add up, man.
Apple teenies. Isn't that what Conan O'Brien says he drinks?
I think so.
I was trying to
actually just funny random anecdote about taking a flask to a bar. I think one of the first times I was ever blackout drunk was not my fault. I was going out with a bunch of game developers. We went to like a beer bar, and when I wasn't looking, this party, it was like a bachelorette party of an Indian woman that was being forced into an arranged marriage against her will. They brought a flask of whiskey and poured half the fucking thing into my beer, and I ended up like chugging it right afterward.
Uh-oh.
And realized my mistake immediately.
This sounds like the beginning to a Lifetime original movie.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Whiskey
How did I
is
get to this arranged marriage?
one of the great things
Your
about
parents
a
aren't
whiskey.
even here.
One of the great things about whiskey is as soon as you drink it, you know you just drank whiskey. It's like, oh, whoa. It gives you that like body shake, like, oh no.
That was
a
thing.
Here comes the pain.
And actually, speaking of whiskey, I forgot that I left a bottle in my car. I'll be right back.
Oh no. It's open container. It's Texas. It's cool. When you buy a bottle of whiskey, they give you a gun. But speaking of getting drunk really quick, dude, CES, I'm just going to throw it out there. There was more than one night that we got pretty toasty.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because you're in Las Vegas. It never stops. There was a night where we realized that it was a certain time, and we weren't exactly in a place of high morals. And it would be morning very soon. Instead of most places where they have a light, last call. Mm-hmm. It's time to go home. No, they don't do that there.
My pants are over here.
They don't do last call at all in Vegas. People just drink on the street.
Wow.
And nothing, like things don't close. Like places don't close until the morning or the next day or never.
Yeah, that was one of the strangest things when I did go to Vegas. We're just seeing people walk around on the street with open containers, just drinking
at
and
9 a.m. doing shots.
God.
That didn't happen to us.
Vegas, like everything.
We had a show to do.
the day all the time. Like even at night, like it's so bright outside. I mean, obviously the sky is not bright, but the lights they never turn off.
The lights never turn off.
You know, it's always.
And when
really
you're inside,
well
there's no windows.
Yeah, there
so
are.
So you
no windows.
never know what time it is. As soon as you go inside of any casino, once you're beyond the point of visibly seeing the door that you came in, once you're past that point, it is blackout.
Huh.
And most of them also have like a big parking garage over the entrance anyway, so sun can't penetrate the front door at all. And yeah, you could lose time really easily there.
The only casino I've ever been to had a fake sky.
Black Hawk?
Yeah, Black Hawk. Had a fake
that one
sky
doesn't count, dude.
painted on the ceiling.
It does not count.
No, it doesn't. But you did lose track of time, definitely.
Yeah, we did.
I was trying to think of some clever ways to not drink, but make it appear as if I'm drinking. I know that sounds stupid, but for someone my age,
What, you mean like pouring out your shot?
yeah, well, not wasting, like without wasting alcohol. Like for example, if I get an ice water, but I put a cherry in it, it could be a club soda, vodka,
Oh, yeah.
some sort of mixed drink. It looks like a mixed
Well,
drink.
you at least gotta... Here's my general tip to drinkers. Double fist it. One is your drink, one is a water.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're like, getting your water in, you should be okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what the problem is. People start drinking and they think it's... mentally, it's a drink. So it's hydrating you. But then you're sitting there drinking and it's over an hour or two, you automatically... You get thirsty because you're a human being. You're an animal. You're a creature. You have to drink. So you get more thirsty, so you start drinking more and thinking that this is hydrating you, but you're actually just getting drunk, and then that's when problems start happening. So you need to hydrate yourself. Like I always would, when it comes to like a soda or anything, it doesn't really matter what it is, not just alcohol. If I have to drink anything that isn't just a nice hydrating, what is John doing?
That's what I was wondering.
I'm gonna mute him. I'm sorry, folks.
He's still trying to get his pants on, I think.
I'm gonna try to mute him. I don't know if I can make it work. This button does nothing. Anyway, I always, make sure to drink a full drink or a cup of water or something between any of that. Like because soda is not hydration. It's sugar and carbonated water and a bunch of chemicals and crap and mice pee. Dude, don't drink water, bro. Fish pee in it. But yeah, hey,
He's
John is back and
hats.
he's getting all cool. He's cool in the gang. Got his dogfish head. Is that what that is?
That's correct.
Damn, I nailed it with his low quality screen. I got eagle eyes over low resolution. You know when you watch those cop dramas and they say enhance, and they keep enhancing the picture even though it doesn't exist. That's what my eyes do naturally. That's what I can do.
My girlfriend's dad got me this for Christmas.
That's a good beer brand. And we're just talking about alcohol instead of
one of my
relocation. Because
Actually,
we got very
I
off topic.
had an additional thing to add to Relocation.
I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. I could talk about this all night.
So one thing I want to get... actually, you go first. Mine might be lengthy.
Damn it.
He called his bluff.
Okay, just so you two guys know, for some reason my Explorer, which runs Google Hangouts, just locked up.
Okay, I can still hear you.
I can still hear you guys, but
Yeah.
the video
Okay.
just stopped. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
And if it does crash, which it has crashed before on the show, we'll keep going without you.
Okay.
No, we'll do another Hangout. We'll figure it out.
Which has happened before.
Yeah. I like the one where I was like, "Oh, he's not here," and you're like, "I can still hear you."
Yeah.
So yeah, about relocation and just general stuff that you have. I've known a lot of guys that have a lot of stuff or a lot of furniture. Like right now in my life, I have the most furniture ever because I've gotten so used to moving with just basically my computer and a mattress that I sleep on. Things have expanded over time. Like that was the basics: mattress to sleep on, clothes, some cooking ware. Cause you got to cook food. You can't just not eat or eat out every night because that will destroy your budget. If you're going out and eating a lot, it just destroys your budget. Try to, learn to cook.
Yeah. At least something.
Yeah, get some nice, pots and pans and spatulas and forks and knives and spoons and bowls. Get the full deal. Looks like you're going to your mama's house. Maybe you don't need all those extra pots. But anyway, learn to cook. It's going to save you a ton of money. We were at the grocery store earlier today. I got some groceries, and it was just a half a gallon of milk and bananas in it. And I was like, why is this so cheap? I'm like, oh yeah, it's milk and bananas. And if I had gotten eggs, how much is a dozen eggs? Like 99 cents?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Or $2. I don't know where you're at. It's different. Yeah.
Unless you like eggs that are gently massaged out of the chicken. It's like
out of the chickens with a penis.
$8 for a dozen. Well, I've been doing it wrong.
Nice. No, hey, we're in Vegas, man. When I wanted to buy a bottle of water, it's $4.
God damn.
But that's buying water on the strip. That's why I got so dehydrated. My brain is still trying to start working again. There's a guy that I'm trying to remember his name so bad, and I feel so bad for this guy. The guy that worked the Warp booth was one of the most professional booth game presenters I've ever seen. He was the only guy, and he was at that booth the whole time. And he was constantly playing the game, or when anybody walked up, he'd say, hey, you want to play the Warp? He was into it, instantly. Man, that guy. Sorry, I forgot his name. I'll try to remember it, find it out.
He's a robot.
He was a trooper. He was a champion.
Robot Johnson.
Robot Johnson was his name. Nah, buddy, let's be friends on Facebook. But anyway, over time, I've gotten more stuff, and relocation costs more, but the longer you're in, obviously you're getting a little more money, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Did we just lose John and Patrick?
I think so.
Yes, we just lost John and Patrick because I finally heard John's ceiling fan stop going in the background. I apologize, folks, if you've heard this and it annoyed you. I just kind of recently started noticing it more, but that's the way he is.
We probably shouldn't point those out anymore.
Consider it. Well, I try to, but it's one of those things you forget. Let me see if I can crash this stupid program real quick.
For example, one time Paul was doing his annoying chair squeak just constantly.
Oh, it's sure.
And I didn't notice it until Cole called him out on it. And the second Cole called him out on it, that's all I could hear.
Yeah.
I was like, God dang it, Cole! Why'd you go? Now you're the jerk.
Now it's your fault.
But yeah. Anyways, what I was talking about with the whole trying to drink thing, but making it appear as if you're drinking, but you're not drinking. I know that sounds ridiculous, but when you're the young one and and your coworkers are trying to peer pressure you into drinking, and you really don't want to, because even if you take a shot, it's not going to do anything. So there's no point in taking that shot, in my opinion. So
hey,
and they're back. Hi.
Hey, how's it
Chris?
going?
Hey. Can you hear us?
Hey.
Hey, John. Hey, John. Do you have a ceiling fan on or something like that?
I have an oscillating fan. I can turn that off.
Something is making a noise, and I noticed it before, but didn't think about saying anything. But then, when you guys, as soon as sound cut from you guys, I was like, man, I really noticed that go away. So
sorry,
something is
cats,
making a noise.
So it's
I think.
always on.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure it's not me. It's one of you guys. Definitely John.
I have a ceiling fan on 10 feet away.
Try that really quick.
Sure.
I remember you had that on before, and it's like blah, 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 blah. It was crazy loud one night. It was ridiculous.
How far are we in, by the way?
Jesus. 80 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I'm still hearing that.
No, it's not me.
I'm still hearing that. I don't know what that is.
Patrick?
Is it you?
It just stopped. Now it's back again. Hold on. Can you hear it? Now it's gone again.
It's gone. And it's back.
There's literally nothing.
Weird. Okay, well,
noise here.
I don't know what it is,
I
but
wonder if it's similar to that Skype bug we were having.
You know what it is, guys? It's the Blair Witch.
That's the only thing that makes any sense.
For the young people out there, it's the Paranormal Activity.
It's the human centipede.
And for my boys from the old school, it's E.T.
The what?
Exactly.
Drew Barrymore's best film.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Pretty much.
She's like, what?
So
She's like
just
80.
So just real quick, the last thing I was going to say, like with regards to cooking and whatnot, Costco and Sam's Club will make your life amazing.
Oh, jeez, because you buy a bunch of stuff, throw it in your freezer.
Dude,
fuck Costco.
Dude.
Fuck your stupid face.
No, I don't mind Costco. I just shopped there this weekend because I'm on this diet and everything, and I got a whole bunch of food and everything, and it's great. But
You're not on a diet; it's a nutrition strategy.
A nutrition strategy. A nutrition strategy. I like that.
Strategery.
Yeah.
But yeah, Costco's great and all, but if you're gonna go buy in bulk, you're only gonna get one kind of whatever it is you want. You're not gonna be able to get mushroom.
No
Friday.
shit, that's why it's called bulk.
No, I know you're not gonna be able to get mushroom.
You know what you should be able to buy in bulk? Like, get big bulk meat. So it's like chicken breasts, steaks, and fucking pork chops.
Yeah, no kidding. Why don't they have something like
and
that?
not like a whole bunch of shitty pork and like one nice steak, evenly distributed.
Yeah, like a trail mix of just
Yeah.
dead animals.
Exactly.
That sounds fantastic.
That sounded really good.
They've got those like mixed vegetables that you can buy in
Yeah,
the
I'd
frozen
like the
section, like
mix,
stir fry
please.
mix or whatever, melody mix. You know what I mean? You sell those frozen vegetables in the frozen food section of your grocery store.
I'd like a carcass medley.
Carcass medley.
He says, puffing the cigar. Wow, that was really appropriate.
But how much is it for like a Costco Sam's Club membership? Like $50 a year or something?
$35 a year for Costco, $50 a year for Sam's.
Okay,
And
that seems worth it.
I price shop and price compare between the two. And so between me and my girlfriend, like us combined, our entire monthly food bill is $200, and we eat like kings.
Kings.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have like sectioned out chicken breasts and beef. I'm not going to go on about this for very long, but like they come like for like $12 or $13. It'll be a pound and a half of beef in 3 different packets, like pound and a half, pound and a half, pound and a half for like $13.
Oh, that's
We
nice.
freeze 2, thaw 1. It's like organic, range fed, the healthiest, best tasting beef I've ever had in my life.
Grass-fed beef.
And we make everything with that, dude. $200 a month for 2 people, and we eat incredibly healthy and feel like gods when we're done. It is freaking.
You have to go to the
amazing.
vomitorium to finish the meal.
It's seriously though, it will save you a lot of money, and learning to cook is really cool.
And
If you want to connect with like a social group in your new city, try and find like a foodie group or cooking classes. That's a really good way to meet people, and it's a good way to sort of like just develop yourself.
By the way, I just wanted to toss in there, if anyone at Costco wants to send us meat at the CrunchCast, just send us an email at contact@crunchstudios.com.
Yeah.
Or send or mail it to Chris Holden Meat Delivery.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. That's my video service I've been
Another
working on in private.
Another great thing about like Costco and Sam's Club is all the samples that they have in there.
Yeah, you walk around and get fed. Then you go to the keyboards and you try on a jacket.
Yeah.
You play with the computers.
Dude, like 14-pound hot dogs for like $1.50.
Why did you try that protein yogurt? Well, I had to see if I liked it or not.
Proturt.
You're never going to buy
Progrert?
protein yogurt.
Progrert.
Well, I had to see if it was good or not.
Progert. Oh god.
Patent pending.
It sounds like
Somebody has to
Progrert,
have made
sounds
that.
like
Right.
Progert. Is that like Webster's cousin?
Yes.
You don't need a dozen grand pianos. I don't care if they're only $1 or not.
What was that, a family
Why did
guy
I
joke?
No, I don't know.
this?
It probably is. It's like, might as well be.
Why did I buy this? How am I going to get this home?
Oh, shit.
But one thing I wanted to say about relocation, Chris will hear this later. Hire Chris Holden for moving. No, actually, so I was in a position once where I had an offer from Austin and an offer from Seattle. And I wanted to move to Seattle a lot more, but I had to try and break down how I was going to choose between the 2 jobs. Cat, quit clawing my furniture. So I had to figure out how I was going to choose between the 2 jobs. So I'm an Excel whore, so I mapped it all out in Excel. So I listed everything that was important to me: the location, the company, the quality of the games they were making, whether or not it was a genre of games I enjoyed working, whether or not it was the type of actual hands-on work that I enjoyed doing, how many of my friends lived there, what the cost of living was, what a career opportunity it was for me. Like, am I going to be doing exactly the same thing, or is it going to be a step up? What the salary is going to be, what the cost of living is going to be. I thought really, really hard about every single thing that mattered to me. And I listed all that out between the two companies. And then on a scale of 1 to 5, I listed out, I gave each one a grade. Like, okay, for an opportunity for me. So, okay, let's say the salary is maybe a 2 out of 5, but in terms of career advancement, it's a 4 out of 5. If the salary is better at one place, but it's less of a career opportunity, then it's going to kind of rate lower. Like, there's everything that's important to me, and then I rate how important it actually really is to me compared side by side. And then at the end, I added up the numbers from each of those two columns. And whichever number was higher, the number that was higher was the job that I chose. But that's a really good way to establish kind of a mental framework. Like, you list all the individual things that are important, and then you think about, well, you know, compared to each other, how important is this to me really? Yeah. And then you're able to come up with kind of a number score. Then you're going to decide wherever the fuck you want, but at least it gave you the opportunity to think about what's actually important to you.
Yeah, and it's not just once either. It's you put in your needs as well.
Exactly.
And it's basically just like a really advanced pros and cons list, but with more numbers and stuff than slashes. Yeah.
Rated, scored. And that has really helped me determine where I go with my career. Nice. And I've been lucky enough to have more than one option in a few different circumstances. And when it was really bothering me, you know, trying to decide which of the two I was going to do, that helped me kind of break it down. And for people that are in that kind of position, even if it's in a should I stay here or should I go here kind of position, that can still help. It helps to think about it and be completely honest with yourself what's most important.
So what made you choose?
So in conclusion, Chris is the biggest... Oh, hey.
Hey, I was just wondering...
person I've ever met.
Pat, did you ever really, chime in on any relocation stuff? Like, did you have, anything you wanted to add, or... I feel like, you're just, chilling.
I mean, John's been going.
I know, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. When he was stealing all my stuff I was going to say, I just said, all right, whatever, and said it anyway after he talked. But yeah.
No, he's bringing up some excellent points, Like,
no, he's the man at that.
In my experience...
Just edit the videos down to him talking. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Pat.
The John cast, the smartest cast.
The smartest
cast.
Coming soon to an internet near you.
Oh, shit. I'm not nearly that egotistical. I call myself the smartest, but no, I'm not that egotistical. Anyway, Patrick, I apologize. Please.
No. I mean, I'm just enjoying listening because you're bringing up a lot of points that I probably would have added to myself. In my experience, moving has always actually been sort of a relatively painless process. I live pretty Spartan. Makes things really, really easy.
That's madness.
That's terrible. It makes things really easy to relocate. I'm never actually, I'm not very attached to anywhere that I've lived, and it's all about the career. Well, like the career and the improvement of my art.
You're a true
That's my
artist.
Focus, like all I care about is living well, but also really improving as an artist. So I'm never attached to one place long enough to accumulate a large amount of stuff. And in my experience, relocating has always been pretty easy because I don't own a lot of things, and companies tend to make it pretty easy for you to get to where they are. Like EA, for example, when I came out to Mythic, was just I didn't even touch a bill, a receipt, anything. They just told me to call a number. I called a number. They came out, surveyed my apartment, and said, we'll be here in a couple days. And sure enough, they showed up, packed all my crap, and it showed up in Virginia.
Oh yeah, they packed everything for you.
Well, I didn't know
Or
that they
did
were
you-
going to do that, so I packed it myself.
Yeah, you do. That's what I always do because I'm very much exactly like you with the. And I've accumulated a bit more stuff in this last year, but
So have I.
What's that? Oh yeah,
Crap.
but I try to live light, and again, give away stuff to Goodwill and all that, blah blah blah. But yeah, when the movers are coming and I've got everything already boxed up, they're like, oh. This is gonna be an easy day, because I've talked to these guys, and they're like, we're used to going into fully furnished homes with china still in the cabinet.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Like that's what they're accustomed to. So when you're nice enough to have it all packed, they're just like, oh, all we got to do is put boxes in the truck.
Plus, it makes it so much easier for you to unpack.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got to pack.
And by the way, my best moving tip possible is go to Target and get those big, like 25-gallon plastic
Those
tubs
plastic
that stack.
tubs, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be like $2 or $3 a piece.
And they're like forever.
I own 20. They stack. They don't break. You don't have to tape them. And when they're empty, they stack together and take up almost no space.
Yeah.
And when you're moving across town, which I've done 8 times in Austin in 5 years, when you're moving across town, you can only fill up so much to fill up your car. So whenever I move across town, I get to where I'm moving, I unpack those tubs, and I unpack as I go. I put them back in my car, go back, fill up with more shit. So by the time I'm done with moving all of my stuff, everything is already unpacked and put in its place. And these things last forever.
Yeah.
Plastic tubs from
They're
going
to
to
be here for
Fuck
100,000
boxes.
years. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, they're cheaper than boxes, man.
And boxes do. I've got some old boxes in my closet right now. It's like from an old CRT TV, like a big, huge TV that was only, like 20 inches or something. That I got in like 1992. I still use this box.
Weighs 14,000 pounds.
Yeah, the TV is long gone. I don't even know what happened to that TV. But I think I gave it to somebody.
I may have been robbed.
But this box, man. I've moved clothes in that box so many times.
One thing that one really good reason to not be a hoarder is
good lead in. That was awesome. That tickled me pink.
Speaking of relocation, you don't want to hoard all of this junk, because we were talking about earlier about getting rid of all the stuff that you don't need. But one really good reason is you never know when you're gonna die. I'm serious,
Brian. I fucking love you,
dude. You just Brian McConnell. You just won this week's episode of the CrunchCast with that line. I mean, we had to stop.
Please title this episode with that.
When you're gonna die, so you can't be hoarding pornography because then your mom has to come in and clean it up. That makes you look like a pervert when you're a corpse. It's just not good at all.
I forgot where I saw it or who made it or anything. There was a comic I saw that was one of those one-panel comics, and it said like something about Grandpa passing away or whatever, cleaning out his house, and they were opening up the closet and there were 2 boxes. The one box on top said it was labeled horrible porn. The box on the bottom was labeled unforgivable porn.
Dude, I use that daily. I think I've used that in front of my mom.
Yeah. So I always keep my non-virtual pornography very light. For that reason.
And by that you mean out in your counters whenever I come to visit?
Now I got a friend. I go to his house. I go into his house, and he's got like a fully furnished home. Couches, like they get the little magazine rack here on the side, and just every one of them is a porno mag. I'm like, well, that's cool. Sitting here at your nice dinner table, just reading porno mags. No big deal.
If both my parents were blind, that's all that would have been on that's what would have been on my walls growing up. It was just porn. And if
Brian, why do I have the feeling that's not the only sentence you've ever begun with, if my parents were blind?
That's another ridiculous premise. If you want, Brian, you can write down all these lead-ins on like a note card, or like give me a stack of cards beforehand. I can say, and I can ask you during the show. Say, hey, Brian, what would you do if your parents were blind?
Oh shit.
That would be awesome. It'd be a good show.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking half the time. But yeah, that alpha brain's wearing off.
Oh, it's kicking in or wearing off,
or kicking in. One of the two.
You're stepping up your game, dude. Like I said, you made the line of the show.
Yeah,
and I've already forgotten it.
Yeah.
So in one ear out the other. I got to rewatch this later, and that's the only way I know what anything was said.
So what was it like the thing? The reason you shouldn't be a hoarder is because you never know when you're gonna die.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Thanks for bringing us back, John.
That was gold.
Look, it's gold,
Comedy
but like
gold.
that's also pretty important, man. Moving, if you got a bunch of shit, that's horrible.
It is. And when you die, your relatives are just gonna give or throw all that away anyways. So, I mean,
yeah. A real important point here is
save them the grief of doing it. Basically,
when your loved ones have to clean out your home after you've passed away, make the job easy. And always be ready.
Don't leave a turd in the toilet.
Yeah.
Don't.
If it's brown, flush it down.
Yeah. Just stuff. Yeah, you know what to do.
Here's what I do to really make it all easier. For moving and stuff, you got everything in boxes, right? And there's a lot of stuff, I know, like you're talking about, just get rid of it. But I just have a bunch of junk in boxes that I need to get rid of. My worst is my box is full of boxes. As in, it's a box that has all the video game boxes from all the games I've bought. It's like, God, why do I have all these stupid boxes? Just a box full of boxes. They have no value.
Yeah.
This is recursive.
Yeah. But anyway, I've got, my closet is pretty much just all those boxes still, everything's still kind of stored in the boxes. So when it comes to moving, it's just like, oh yeah, just put these on the truck, good to go.
That is handy. And plus, like what they say in Heat, what's that quote from Heat? Like always be packed, or something along the lines of, never keep anything in your life you're not willing to give up when you see the heat around the corner in 30 seconds or something like that.
Oh yeah, the cops are coming.
Boy, that was verbatim.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect, John. Heat was that movie. Wasn't it famous because it got two actors together that normally, like in one scene? It was like De Niro and...
It was Danny Aiello and Carrot Top.
Anyway, no point in talking about Heat, but...
De Niro and Pacino,
yeah. Yeah, De Niro and Pacino. Hey, what do you do in a fire? Have you practiced going down the stairs and out of your apartment? Or wherever you live.
Roll down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I learned.
Don't go to the elevator, obviously.
Yeah, here's something that I do. I always take the elevator up, because I'm on the 5th floor. But I never take the elevator down. I take the stairs.
That's a weird phobia.
So I'm so accustomed to the stairwell, like knowing how to bam. Like I've made it such a common thing to me. Like there would be no confusion of how to escape.
Yeah, you should always know your way out. That's one of the rules in Zombieland.
Zombieland.
God, I love it.
I take all my cues from Zombieland.
Twinkies.
That movie's the only reason I wear my seatbelt.
Nice.
Fucking Brian, oh my god. Dude, you're spinning gold.
Shit.
I'm gonna have to make your little window on the video bigger.
But
I'm gonna unminimize this.
that is a very good point. You should always know how to escape your apartment, because that's one of my phobias. Is that one of my neighbors? Because I'm in an apartment too. I've got people below me, people above me, and people on either side of me. I don't know if they're smokers or not. I don't know if they light candles or meditate with their incense. I don't know what they're doing with fire, and that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of fires are started by people actually falling asleep, smoking a cigarette, and they die. So it's unfortunate, and it happens
Chris,
a lot.
Chris, I almost
1 billion
burned
cases
down
per year.
Chris,
No,
I
it's
almost
like
accidentally
5.
burned down Chris Sheckler's place because I think the first time I ever smoked a cigarette, I passed out.
Nice going,
Exactly.
John.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm awesome.
Smokey the Bear should slap you in the dick. But
Thank you for bringing up a painful memory.
Anyways, yeah, just be careful with fire. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Here's one of the things I worry about. What floor do you guys live on? Like first or second or what? I'm on the 5th where I'm at.
I'm on the second.
Second of a 3-story. So
Did you say third, Pat?
Yeah, third of a 3-story.
So yeah, you guys are a little closer to the ground. I always worry about what would happen if I had to get out through my balcony?
I'd break an ankle.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd break an ankle.
I'm on the 5th floor, so I would try to have to do some kind of climbing that I never do.
So, Chris, that comes down to math. Do you want to die in a fire or die by falling?
Well, what I've got at work, I've got this.
I like how
thing.
this sounds like a prepared answer.
It's called the USA, the Universal Strength Apparatus. It was something that was sent to me back when I was moderating on some body weight forum to test and do some videos and tutorials on. It's a pretty dope device. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's basically like a hanging rope ladder.
Mm-hmm.
And what I should do is just bring it home and have it attached and hooked up over the edge of that, because it would give me a good 12 feet down.
And it would help you peep on your neighbors.
And I could peep on my neighbors. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, think about getting like rope climbing equipment just in case I can escape from a fire.
Out your balcony.
This is the kind of stuff I think about.
Yeah,
That's not a bad idea.
You're delving deep into the
plus
mind of
all
Chris
of the
Holden.
people below you would benefit from it as
They
well.
could benefit if I threw down a rope. And what I would do is for the ladies, I'd tie knots in there.
Yeah.
Every 3 feet, make it nice and easy on them.
Have it
They'd
pre-soaked in
benefit from it
kerosene.
if you didn't. They'd benefit from it if you didn't set fire to it when you got to the bottom.
That's what I said. Have it pre-soaked in kerosene.
So, yeah, you gotta have gloves too. You know,
Fuck
if
y'all,
it's not got knots,
evolution.
you gotta have gloves because you're probably gonna end up losing your grip and sliding down it.
Yeah. Well, that's.
Sorry, Patrick.
Oh man.
Yeah, rope burn is a bad thing to have.
Yeah,
then
dude.
your hands are useless.
And a lot of people have never climbed on a rope before,
Yeah.
so they
if you're
would
not
just
accustomed,
slide
if you're
down.
not accustomed to climbing on a rope,
Yeah.
and I can't think of anyone that is accustomed to climbing on a rope besides possibly Ben, the MMA fighter that we know.
Well, I used to climb ropes.
Well, I mean, like used to. I mean, yeah, in school.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we should get a rope.
And I was in drama club.
Brian,
and I
we're
opened-
talking-
Brian, let's get a rope. We need to get a rope for work.
We do need a rope.
Let's get a rope.
Yeah, like one of those thick ones.
Yeah, a big thick rope. We can get it
Girthy,
from-
a big girthy
and that's how we're gonna work out.
rope.
Big, thick, veiny rope.
No knots. We'll put a bell at the top.
Oh shoot!
If your thighs aren't already calloused from climbing up and down ropes, you're not a man.
I can do no legs. I'm just saying.
So
Anyway,
if you lost your legs in a fire, you could still survive.
Oh, yeah,
but would you
fine.
But would you want to?
no, but that's just my personal opinion.
Good answer.
Cool. So hey, one thing I wanted to talk about earlier, I did allude to a little bit of at VORGEGFX Vorge Graphics. That's his Twitter account.
What?
You've been live streaming, Pat Morrison.
Yeah.
Lord FX.
Yeah, I have.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I jumped in on one and it was pretty cool. You were arting it up and then you posted it on the Poly account, what you're working on thread, and it was dope. And people were like, "Oh, let me repost it because it's dope."
Yeah, I got into live streaming in the last couple, I don't know, like 6 months, I suppose. Kind of following. Man, that every time I talk and you're in the window, we're getting that feedback. Is that you or me? That beeping sound.
I don't know. It must be you because I just muted
Maybe
my
I'm hearing
sound.
something. I don't know.
I just muted my sound and I kept hearing it. So
Good move.
Well, I guess
That wasn't me.
that wasn't me.
what, that sound? Oh, that was just me making a fart sound with my lip.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so this guy.
You're live streaming and you love it
Right.
so much. You were
Live
inspired by.
I was inspired by this guy, Danny Williams, who goes by Point Pusher, who does his own live stream, which is livestream.com/pointpusher. And he's on Twitter, which I think is at Point Pusher as well. Anyway, he is an incredible artist, very good sculptor, very good character artist, works at DreamWorks Animation. And he, with a couple of his old co-workers, put together a blog called Lunch Crunch about a year ago, maybe a little more than that.
Oh, I've heard
and
of
it was
that.
it was just like little 1-hour sketches that you could post up on your this forum, just to kind of keep getting people to do quick art. And I discovered live streaming and gave it a shot, and I found it actually like a lot less nerve-wracking than I thought it was going to be. I was actually really kind of nervous my first time doing it. Thought it'd be really weird having somebody over my shoulder.
All these people watching you going, "Hey, you're dumb
totally.
and you're stupid and shut up
Yeah,
and music
I thought it was
dumb, hate you and hate your face
It's
and the way you talk."
Like the way, like when you start in games and someone's sitting behind you watching, it's like that kind of what the fuck moment. But that's like times 100. I can imagine that totally like freak your shit out. But you're like, how'd you get past that?
I just didn't feel it. Like once I started just kind of getting the idea of what I was sculpting and started working on it, the conversation that I was having with the chat room and just everything else, all that stress just kind of went away, and it became a really natural process of just shooting the shit and
Now, is
doing
this
some
one
art.
the one that I was there for? Was this a Demon Head or is this a previous one?
Demon Head was the most recent one. That wasn't my first time.
Okay, I
doing
didn't
it.
know how many you've done yet.
Yeah, I was sporadic for a while, like one every couple of weeks for the last few months. But yeah, I just did that Demon Head like I guess a week or two ago. I'm probably gonna do another one.
Yeah, at least over a week ago, because that was awesome,
we
man.
just-
I
we
was
just
there. It was cool. All your friends were there.
Oh, my
Wasn't
friends
Jesse
were
there? He was there, right? Skanker
I think
Zero?
so. Yeah.
He had
Jesse
some
showed
weird
up.
name that I didn't recognize at first, and I
Started with an
realized
M.
what he was saying. I was like, "Oh, this is Jesse."
Dude, I would love to see that. Let me know when you do that.
Yeah,
totally
you
tune in.
usually link those on like Facebook, and don't you put them on like G Plus or something too, or like tweet it or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't been using Twitter too
Yeah.
often. I usually forget about Twitter. I forget that I
Most
have
people
it.
do. You know what? Next time you're doing one, if I'm actually online, which I probably am, because I always am, because I'm stupid and nerdy, I'll share it all around or whatever to get it out there, because people need to know about a live stream when it's happening, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
it's
did that
great,
for like
'cause-
5 hours that one time.
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
And when I do like really extended ones, it's kind of awesome when people do show up, because they ask a lot of questions. And the best part of doing the live stream, and I completely lose track of time, people will sit there and ask you questions about all sorts of things, generally art related in an art live stream, but not always. And it's just a really cool experience to be able to talk to people, answer questions, show your process, ask your own questions. A big part about it for me is just process. I love watching other people do these live streams and quick sculpts and paintings and whatnot, and I learn a ton from it. So, maybe it helps somebody else out too. It's just really enjoyable for me to get some work cranked out.
That is super cool, dude. Like on some CrunchCast, when you come back, you should schedule one out and tell people when you're going to do it so they can tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be more than happy to. I just love the interaction with other artists, and also random hilarious conversations.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dude, I'm looking forward to seeing that. That sounds awesome.
Right on, yeah. I mean, I'll definitely post it on Facebook when I get around to it. I didn't do anything last week because we were doing extended hours at work, so I pretty much came home and fell asleep. But now that has come to an end, definitely going to start doing some more live streams.
Nice. I did feel guilty at the beginning of this episode because usually when we have a new guest, we let them. The episode is usually about them and like just asking them questions, and we didn't really give you a chance to introduce yourself much at all. So I'm glad that.
Well, Pat did episode 10.
Oh, I guess okay. I wasn't.
But that wasn't really
Unfortunately,
about.
you were not here.
Yeah.
That wasn't really about games. It was about heavy metal music. Because me and Pat love heavy metal.
Okay, I did watch that one. That was a long time ago.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, episode 10, that was like, God, that was so long ago.
That was the one that you were like, now I have to get an HD camera.
Yeah, I had to upgrade because
it
was a 10.
We hit episode 10.
Jesus Christ.
I'm slowly migrating into metal. I got into Nargaroth is one of my favorite. They have one of my favorite albums. Right
Nice.
That one with the seasons, you know, it has like it's like spring, summer,
It's really,
whatever. It's all in German, and I can't say any of those words.
Yeah.
And I don't want to butcher them by being like jazz or good. I can't say this. We'll get my buddy who's a programmer. His name is Michael Bickel. He's out of Germany. He can say these words, and he'll hook you up.
It's just really difficult to make a transition into metal. Like when you.
Well, it helps that you're like listening to it while you work out.
Yeah.
Because you can associate it with kicking ass.
Yeah.
Definitely works.
Like,
And then we'll take you to it once you get like really down with it, like associating it mentally with kicking ass because you're working out to it. We'll take you to a good metal show
throwing in a mosh pit.
and put you in a pit, and then you can understand what it really means.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than like the Disney music that I'm used to listening
Yeah.
to.
Brian
Just a
usually
bit.
listens like
Just a bit.
Katy Perry. And,
Yeah.
I don't even know what Brian listens to.
Yeah, I don't even know either. I actually
Brian likes all types of music because he is an open, cultured person, everybody. He is a young man who is opening his mind to a new world of discovery, joining into the game industry and traveling the world and meeting new people. And what is John doing? Is he like cleaning his house?
Yeah, that's
Oh, he was
Jazz.
digging up a new and exciting hat that the majority of our viewers on the MP3 format will not be able to enjoy. And by the way, thanks everybody. For some reason, CrunchCast episode number 25, the episode about salaries and whatnot, has skyrocketed in numbers. I think people like to hear those numbers. They like to hear that real shit. They're like, give me that number. How much am I going to make? I want to make money. And the downloads on it were more than double than the previous highest episode, which was episode 13. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Stats are interesting. It's interesting to find out what people really like. You know, people can give you all the feedback in the world, but the real feedback that I listen to is these numbers, because those are, you know, that's really the truth.
Yeah.
If one person tells you something, it's important. You need to listen to that. You need to understand why they feel that way. But really, it's the major numbers. It's really interesting when an episode comes out and just blows another one away. It's like, wow.
It shows improvement.
Yeah.
And we need questions too.
Questions. We love questions. We've got I'll link the polycount thread.
Yeah.
It's you can post there. That's the one easy way. You can hit us all up on Twitter. I'm at Chris Holden Dev. He's at Brian_McConnell. All kinds of consonants. You can find him pretty easily, just like he's one of my followers.
I was wondering if I should change that, but I guess it's too late.
Nah, it's fine. It's really it's easy to understand. The only trick is Brian is with a Y, like Bryan. It's not one of those dirty I Brians.
Brian, you should
Those
register
words.
hoarder suicide.
That should be your. We're gonna start the Brian McConnell podcast called Hoarder Suicide,
Hoarder suicide.
coming to Vimeo.
That sounds so horrible. Like, I'm just gonna hoard all this crap and then kill myself so my family has to go.
It's the ultimate way of creating problems for other people. But Brian, focus on this. This is what's important. You're creating jobs. America needs that.
It's like the polar opposite of suicide by cop.
Yes, it is. Oh shit.
Jeez. I'm just trying to promote this show, everybody.
Yeah.
CrunchStudios.com. That's where we host all the MP3s. We link the YouTube videos. We link the Vimeos. We got you all the options. We've got an RSS feed. There's a YouTube video feed. There's feeds on Vimeo too. Why? Everything has feeds. If you love feeds, we got feeds. We can feed you, baby birds. And if you guys,
my God.
if you guys know any of those like weird sites that I don't understand anything about, just plug us into it, so other people can find us. Because that's the only way anybody finds out about the shows. They just, what the hell is this? And their buddy says, listen to this show. It's these idiots, and they kind of know some things, but you got to dig deep to really find the good info. Anyway,
We are meat.
what is this new hat you got there, John?
It's a Russian
hat. Russian. Is it Russian or Christmas?
It's Russian. My uncle
You can
gave
tell
it to
'cause
me.
it's
He
gray
bought it in Red Square
red.
in Russia.
It's nice.
This is a company hat.
It looks like, I've been to Europe before, and they always have these places, and they sell hats, and they all look like that.
I thought it was an Angry Birds hat. At
Angry Birds.
I was like, John, take it off.
Hey, John, do you have anything coming up you'd like to promote? Besides, you're going to be at GDC. I might be there. I'm not sure. I know we're going to have a booth, so there's a good chance.
Actually, on January 25th, I'm going to be speaking very briefly, like a 2-minute talk, at I can't remember the name of it. It's the TACC something or other. Basically, the crazy badass high tech department at the University of Texas in Austin has the largest, highest resolution, highest definition screen in the fucking world. It's something like 32 gigapixels by whatever the aspect ratio is. It's really fucking crazy. A lot of artists are going to be presenting their work on it. Patrick, it's still a possibility for you. I can get you in if you want. Show your work up there. There are going to be a ton of people there. It's going to be a really well-publicized event, and I'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Nice.
But outside of that, it's
just like a couple of tweets.
GDC. Basically, yeah. Actually, it is 200 words, so it's slightly less than 2 tweets.
Oh, no big deal.
But,
200 words. Wow. A tweet limit is 140 characters. So
yeah,
anyway.
It's going to be really short. Anyway, that's a cool thing I'm going to be doing. Just hit me up on Facebook if you want information on that. I'm going to be at GDC. I'll be doing CrunchCasts from now till then. But
cool.
If you want to meet me at GDC, hit me up.
And you just did one of those Reddit. What is that called?
The Reddit AMA. Yeah, let's. If you're cool with that, can we link that to this podcast?
I think so. Actually, I can find the links in my statistics because it got us so many views.
Nice,
like 24.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I spent
like
12 hours doing a Reddit Ask Me Anything on how to get into the game industry. I had 550 some odd comments, half of which are mine. I answered every single person that asked a question.
Good on you.
And I still am. People sent me private messages. I've been reviewing people's portfolios. I've answered every single person's question on that, and I put a lot of really fucking good content into that. And I'm gonna turn it into like a dozen articles. But I worked my ass off on that. I'm really proud of it, and I put a lot of work into it. And if you want to know how to get into the game industry, kind of what the lay of the land is, I answered every question completely honestly, no bullshit, 100%, no holds barred. And yeah, it was really intense. I'd love to do it again at some point. But yeah, if you want to know how to get into games or just want to get my perspective on working in games or just the inside scoop or whatever, yeah, check that out.
Back that up. Back all that information up for sure.
So believe me, I am.
So you don't lose it like you did your beer journal, your online beer journal.
I know. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate you highlighting a painful memory.
Yeah, it's full.
How dare you?
My bad.
But yeah, that's all the pimping I got.
Oh, and you can always check him out at www.johnjones.com, where you can it's a blog of his where you can find all his old articles dating back to the classic "Your Portfolio Repels Jobs," which it probably does, unless you're an avid listener.
Actually, dude, this is going to be my 9th year blogging.
Woo-wee, you're the monster blogger.
It's almost a decade.
I feel old.
Besides, okay, we'll try to make sure we're getting people information on when you're doing any more live streams on art. Pat Morrison, you have vorggraphics.blogspot.com, vorggfx.blogspot.com. Anybody can go there and check out your fancy art. You got anything else you'd like to talk about?
Not at the moment.
Cool beans.
But thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah.
Patrick, gentleman and scholar, please come back.
Buy the house party on your Xbox.
Oh yeah.
When the Nexus comes out and you get that game, you buy that game, and just to be sure, when you buy it, put a couple dollars in a card and mail it to me, just to make sure that I get paid for this game. Because we're not going to be, you never know.
Yeah.
And I'll be sure if you give me $2, I'll give one to Brian.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't have to do this.
I wasn't even expecting 50%.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Anyway, yeah.
Last word. Check out my cat.
Check out John's cat. CrunchStudios.com. I'm gonna stop recording.
Ow.